Hello everyone, I am Sharpedo43 once again, and today I'm going to be doing what I've been wanting to do for a while now, and is actually showcase a Wi-Fi battle from Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. For those who don't know, today is my birthday, so I actually don't know what I want to actually showcase on my channel, so I decided to just showcase a Wi-Fi battle taking place in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. However, unlike most first Wi-Fi battles for every Pokemon game that I play, this one's actually not going to be a standalone Wi-Fi battle. It's actually going to be from a draft league, and if you're wondering which league, it's actually the PAC league, which, yeah, obviously, I know I haven't, like, showcased much of from the last season, but I'm actually doing one for Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl regardless, because I just wanted to get Wi-Fi battles, and I actually did have a hard time looking for people to do Wi-Fi battles with, so I figured if I sign up for a league that actually does Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, I should be able to guarantee myself at least a number of Wi-Fi battles. And in the name of what was once Generation 4, hopefully we can get all of the matches done, and hopefully there's no inconveniences like there was for the last season of the PAC League, because you know that one season was just it kind of ended on a bittersweet note, and wasn't really a fan of that, obviously. But yeah, so anyways, my opponent here is actually Big Time Brownie, representing the New York Yampers team. Drafts, I can give you a quick glimpse right here, but that's all I can do right now. I don't really feel like talking about the teams. In fact, I don't really intend on talking much about the teams, but rather just the matches at hand and whatnot. Because, I don't know, just too lazy to do that kind of stuff. I feel like most of the time the battles speak for themselves as to what our teams are going to do, basically. So, yeah. But anyways, so here we're basically preparing for the match. I was actually nervous that it was going to be complicated to start a Wi-Fi match here too, but then I had to remember that we're doing this with a 20-minute timer. We're not doing LAN mode here. It's just a 20-minute timer, so basically we have to mash buttons. But I figured since there's no Dynamaxing and there's no Mega Evolution and there's no Z moves, this should be easy. So I feel like maybe the meta here is not too bad, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's my Cyrus team right there. One of the things I don't like so far about these matches taking place in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is that from the looks of it, I can't seem to switch the battle music, which in Sword and Shield we definitely could, unless you're using LAN mode, in which you cannot. But if that's actually the case with all matches in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, that would be a letdown once again. But obviously it is what it is, and what are we going to do? But anyway, so that's my team right there, as you can see. Half of my team right now is actually very reminiscent of the Cyrus team that I used for my original playthrough, so that's kind of funny that it's now kind of taking place here in this draft league. And my opponent's team, yeah, it's scary, but it's actually kind of doable. I feel like it made it easy to prepare because of the fact that he has no electrical immunity. It definitely guaranteed my bringing of Magnezone, so that way I can just Volt Switch whenever I see a matchup is unideal, yeah, basically. And yeah, so I'm hoping that I can actually get away with pivoting and actually, you know, attacking really hard in order to accommodate the 20-minute timer, because remember that these matches are going to end pretty damn quickly because of the damn timer. The goal, what I drafted is basically an offensive team, so that way I can, like, plow through a lot of, you know, teams and actually hopefully get matches done before 20 minutes, since I don't want the matches to go to time and whatnot. Just a shame how it's not a 60-minute battle though. But anyways, it is what it is. Anyways, my opponent, he does lead with a Ditto, which is something that I was actually expecting. I believe I lead with the Magnezone, yeah. Because again, the lack of Volt Switch immunity. And it doesn't look like a lot can do much to Magnezone anyway, at least straight on, like head on. Like they can't just one-shot it. And I think also this Magnezone was, I think it was Magnet Pull, so that way he wouldn't be able to double switch on me, predicting me to do something. So like I knew something was gonna go down here. Here I actually decided to go for the Flash Cannon just because I was thinking of Volt Switching, but the problem was that if this Rotom just like isn't scarfed, then he would be able, or I would Volt Switch first and then he would Volt Switch afterwards, and then that would kind of give him the switch initiative, and I kind of don't want that. So yeah, he does outspeed me, so it might be scarfed. I don't remember if it was or not, but it does switch out. So, and I was kind of hoping he would go into anything but the Rotom, because I was thinking, what if I go for the Volt Switch? Like I was hoping he'd think that I could go for Volt Switch here, and this Rotom would take damage. but he doesn't end up doing that. The reason why I went for Flash Cannon was because I felt like he could have also gone the Cacturn, and Cacturn does resist Volt Switch, so I was thinking the Flash Cannon could do a lot of damage to this thing. So that's kind of what I did basically. Now here, I think, I forgot what I go for, or I go for the Volt Switch myself actually, yeah. I go for the Volt Switch myself, because I am willing to take a Hydro Pump Shell It Come. That way I can get myself a safe switch into something else. Now here the Hydro Pump is going to miss, so thankfully I don't take more damage than necessary, because I think if that hit, I think I might have been left at the red bar, I think. Unless Leftovers has anything to say about it. But yeah. So here I'm just contemplating on what I want to send in, because I'm hoping that I can just take out this Rotom as soon as possible. It can also give me an idea of whether or not it's Choice Scarfed or not, because he locked itself into Hydro Pump. So I was wondering, do I want to send in a Zoom but like, you know, I wasn't sure basically. Like here I had to think quite a bit before I actually sent in something. I decided ultimately to go into Weavile, just because Weavile is fast, powerful. I think my Weavile is also Life Orb, so I figured, yeah, if I go for Throat Chop here, I should be able to take it out, right? At least given the damage that I did with the Volt Switch on Magnezone, I'd like to believe that, yeah, I could take it out. Plus, Throat Chop is a lot more powerful than what Knockoff ever was. So yeah, and thankfully it does end up, well no, actually it doesn't end up taking it out. I don't know what the hell was I thinking. I was thinking that I did, but no, I didn't. He does actually survive the Throat Chop, unfortunately. So here, I was gonna go for Throat Chop again, but then I was thinking, wait a minute, what if the Grand Bolt comes in, tries to intimidate me, and then resist the Throat Chop? That feels like too optimal of a play for him to make. So I was thinking, you know, I should just probably go for the Poison Jab. Here I was just looking at my team on the off chance I wanted to switch out instead of going for any attack. Maybe like double switch on something. Like maybe sending Crobat predicting the Grand Bolt. But again, the Intimidate was something I had to consider. So if I switch in something before he does, because his Mon is slower, then the Grand Bolt will just come in and get the Intimidate off anyway. So yeah. So here obviously now I'm just going to predict him here and go for the Poison Jab. Does get the Intimidate off, unfortunately. So this Poison Jab is not going to do too much. Although thanks to the Life Orb, it does do a fair amount. Like it does almost half, but not exactly half. Now unfortunately, because of the Hydro Pump hitting, or basically the Rotom surviving, then the Hydro Pump hitting and doing a lot of damage to Weavile, now just one hit takes me to red basically, thanks to the Life Orb, which is kind of crazy. Here I was wondering if I should actually even like if I should actually sack Weavile basically here, just go for more Poison Jabs and just cripple the Grand Bolt. But I figured maybe that's not necessary. So I was thinking of switching into something else, but I was just wondering what, because on a Grand Bolt I wasn't really certain what I wanted to send in, because I think Grand Bolts do have coverage for a lot of types of Mons and whatnot. So here, ultimately I just decided to go into the Grand Bolt, just because I wanted to see what moves he had. If it had Fire Fang or something like that. He does go for the Thunder Wave, so thankfully I send in Magnezone and not anything else, because if I send in something like Crobat for instance, that would have been super terrible for me. I would have actually been put at a huge disadvantage for the rest of the game, and I didn't want that. So thankfully I went into Magnezone here. Now here I actually go for Flash Cannon once more, because again I don't want to risk him like you know, like staying in and just attacking me with superpower or something, or whatever fighting moves these things can get. Maybe this thing has Focus Blast, I don't know. Like I don't know what this thing could do, but I was just afraid of it overall because it's a Fairy type. Fairy type Mons are scary actually. But anyway, we do take out the Grand Bolt because he actually does decide to stay in, which is really good for me. So now I just have to wait to see what he wants to send in towards this Magnezone. I was wondering, is it going to be Ditto or is it going to be something else? I actually wasn't sure, honestly. He could have probably sent in Rotom if he wanted to play an offensive role, but he ends up going into Cacturn instead. Now here, I actually, I think I tried a Volt Switch, I think. It was either that or Flash Cannon. Now here, I actually don't remember what I did. I might have actually tried to Volt Switch. Actually, no, I think I do Volt Switch, actually. I think I Volt Switch. Because what I wanted to do was actually send in Crobat here. Because, I don't know. I was thinking maybe this thing could get a fighting type move. I wasn't sure. Again, like because he sent it in against Magnezone, I felt like he had something for it, but I'm not really sure what this Cacturn can actually do, honestly. So He ends up going for spikes, which again kind of makes it good that I actually brought in Crobat. So these are just fortunate switch-ins. First was the Magnezone on the Granbull, and now the Crobat on this Cacturne, because he's definitely gonna run away with this Cacturne right now. So this gives me the opportunity to defog this while he switches out. I was hoping he'd switch out, which thankfully he did. And now he's gonna send out the Ditto to basically scout what this Crobat has. That's one of the things I never like about Ditto. It's just that these ones are just literally designed to scout anything your opponent has. And yeah, obviously, I feel like when they know a lot about your team, they're going to be able to find ways to play around your team and whatnot. That's kind of what made this guy kind of scary, honestly. It's just that he may not have electrical immunities, but he could really play around with that Ditto, honestly. So anyways, here I decided to, I think, go back to Magnezone, just because given the moveset that I have on that Crobat, he can't do anything to Magnezone, so that's actually good. That's why I actually am glad that I didn't try finding coverage for these monsters, because I figured, yeah, these things are gonna, if he has a Ditto, he's just gonna try to scout and probably counterplay a lot of the mons that Ditto decides to trace, you know. Now here he just went for the simple Brave Bird. I think he could have gone for U-turn, predicting me to switch out, because I think the switch was inevitable. But I don't know. Maybe he thought I would stay in, because that is a possibility. He tried doing it himself, honestly. Here I believe I just go for another Volt Switch, actually. He goes back in the Cacturne, which is fine with me, because this allows me to just go for the switch back into Crobat, which is pretty cool. This is what I meant that, about like going for that Volt turning stuff. It's basically the Tesla Mouse special, where he just goes for Volt Switch, then he goes for U-turn, then he goes for Volt Switch, just because he sees your damn movement and whatnot. That's basically what I'm doing here with this dude. But yeah, I was contemplating on whether or not I should go for Cross Poison, but I decided to just go for U-turn in case he decides to switch around. He actually does do something kind of interesting. He goes for the Spiky Shield so that I take damage with this Crobat. It's also a good way for him to scout as to whether I'm going to go for a pivoting move or not. And here, I was kind of wondering, should I just like keep going for U-turn? Because what if he now wants to switch into something that I'm not going to appreciate? But if he does that, then I do get the advantage. So ultimately I end up going for U-turn. Take out the Cacturne as well, which is really, really good for me. Now here, I don't remember what he sends in again, because once again I forget. But I do get the, like, I do have to send out my Mon, because he let the Cacturne stay in. I think that's why he let it go down, was so that he can see what I can actually send in now. I think I end up going into Magnezone once more. Yeah, I think, if not Magnezone, I think it was Weavile. Yeah, because I don't think I sent in Nidoking. Nidoking was something that came to mind because that thing can just come in and hit stuff real hard, but I kind of didn't want to take damage from the Latios just yet. So yeah, ultimately I just ended up going for the Magnezone instead. Taking leftovers in the process, which I think makes it even better that I actually send in Magnezone here, because this was from a pivot, which allows sending it in to take more recovery. I wanted to say, geez, I don't know why the hell I messed that up, but anyways, it is what it is. Here he's gonna send out the Rotom, and I'm just gonna go for the Volt Switch, because I don't know, I just don't feel like staying in with this Magnezone, like by Thunderbolting it or Flash Canning it. To then have him send Latios was a good idea. So if he lands the Hydro Pump, that's fine with me. But I do want to pivot out into something that can possibly outspeed and just destroy the Latios head on. In the process, I do take out the Rotom, which is really, really good, because that Rotom was also just kind of an inconvenience, especially if those Hydro Pumps kept hitting, because those things like hurt my Mons really, really hard, honestly, which is kind of crazy. Here, now this is a good question, because here I actually don't remember what I sent in. I might have actually sent in Crobat again. No, actually I think I sent in Weavile, actually. I think this was due to what he had left on his team, yeah. It was basically what he had left on his team, the reason why I actually decided to send in Weavile. Because he has Latios, and he has the Ditto, and he has the, what's it called? The Staraptor. In retrospect, I feel like I probably should not have done that, though. Like, I should not have sent in Weavile. But it's because I was kind of hoping he wouldn't send in Ditto right away. But again, it's Ditto. So again, he probably just wanted to see what set I had on this thing. So I decided, given what my moveset, once again, reflecting on my moveset that I have on this Weavile, I decided to just go into the what's it called, the Quagsire, to take what is possibly going to be the Throat Chop. Because I think Throat Chop is his most powerful move. Actually, I think Icicle Crush was. But, I don't think he wanted to risk missing. So, yeah. Thankfully for me, he does go for the throat chop, and my intention here is actually to go for toxic, basically. Because if he switches into Latios, then I don't have to worry about him setting up a substitute because the poison will eventually take him down. So I go for the toxic, and if he stays in, then the Ditto goes down, which is good for me. So here, he's going to switch out the Ditto, obviously, because he wants to preserve it. Wants the late game sweep, possibly. Sends out the Latios. I do predict the switch into Latios, thankfully, but unfortunately for me, I end up missing the toxic, which is unfortunate, because this could have put me in a really, really good situation. Or position, jeez, not situation. The situation is now, though, that I missed the toxic. But here, I was thinking of what I should do, actually, and decided to actually send in Azumarill head-on, even if it costs me the Azumarill, because what I wanted to do was make sure that if this thing goes for substitute, I just play rough it and make sure that it doesn't try to go for it again, then send out Weavile and go for an Icicle Crash. Even if he sends out the Ditto, I was just like, I felt like I could have done stuff, honestly. He does actually end up going for the Energy Ball, so I wouldn't say that was a prediction per se, but I think he just went for it like as a middle ground play, just because Weavile was already weak. Not Weavile, the Quagsire. Well, actually, no, never mind. It was actually a good move for him to go for, because Quagsire, yeah. But I think Psychic or Draco Meter would have done a lot to Quagsire anyway, so maybe that's why I wasn't thinking he'd go for the Energy Ball or even have it. But he did, so obviously. This Azumarill, I was wondering if I should actually just go for the Aqua Jet. I am banded, so I was just kind of hoping that maybe I could just go for the damage before I go down, and hope for goodness sakes he doesn't go for the substitute, or even has it. He does go for Psychic. Now this one I do think was a prediction, actually, because I was thinking maybe he actually, he was probably thinking of that I'd switch into Crobat or something, expecting that Energy Ball again. But thankfully I just let Azumarill go down. I felt like it wasn't entirely necessary. And I think it could be a bit of a liability if the Ditto's still around, because if that thing can outspeed a lot of my team, maybe not the Crobat, but it can probably take a hit, I don't know. I was just afraid of a lot of stuff going on here, honestly. The Latios, thankfully, is Life Orb. It's not Choice Scarf or even Leftover, so this kind of tells me that this is definitely an offensive Latios. So I was just kind of thinking, I'm going to send in Crobat, and I'm going to just go for U-turn, and I'm going to see if it can actually take it out. And if it lives, then maybe it'll just go down to its Life Orb, if it doesn't have Roost or Recover, just to recover and whatnot. But yeah, I think my opponent already knows that he's in a very tight situation, because again, if he sends in Ditto, I just, chip it down little by little. I could even send in Weavile afterwards and just go for the Ice Shard, and then what's he going to do there? He's going to lose, because a lot of his mons here at this point are weak to Ice, potentially. Either way, the U-turn thankfully does take out the Latios, which now puts me in an even better position. Here I just send in Quagsire to see what exactly he wants to send in, since I don't want to risk him sending out the Ditto right now, because he still has the Ditto. I think, or maybe this was actually a guaranteeing of him sending out Staraptor, because if he sends out Ditto, then I can just literally finish it off with literally anything else on my team right now. But he just goes for the Staraptor. I think what he wants to do is just basically get all the damage he can do, or he can dish out on this Quagsire. Unfortunately, I think any offensive variant of Staraptor is able to 2-hit KO Quagsire, even with the maximum investment in defense, honestly. So that kind of sucks, honestly, because this is like one of my only few walls on my team, and it can't even take hits very well, honestly. That's the best it can take, which really, really blows. But here, I'm just going to go for Scald, because if I get the burn on this thing, it cripples down even further. I don't get the burn, unfortunately, but I feel like from where it's at, I can actually, it's like in range for me to take it out with Crobat, basically. And even if he sends out the Ditto afterwards with the Crobat, I can just send in Weavile and just go for Ice Shard, because I do have Ice Shard on that Weavile, if you didn't see it already. Which I'm sure you guys have, honestly. You guys are a lot more observant than I am. I've already said this before. But, yeah. So, Quagsire does go down, unfortunately. Now I'm just gonna, hopefully, late game sweep with Crobat right here. And here I'm just gonna go for the Brave Bird, because Brave Bird hits literally everything that's left on his team really hard. Even the Ditto if he traces my Crobat, honestly. Because it doesn't resist Brave Bird. Here's like, he's here because he took a while to make the move. I was thinking, he's probably like, damn it, I can't believe I got played that way. But yeah, so down goes the Staraptor, and I think after this is just gonna be the Ditto. I wanted to see if I could maybe lift the Brave Bird to see if I can actually take out the Ditto with Crobat and just basically have this be like a Crobat massacre and whatnot. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think I do actually end up taking it out, which is really, really cool, because I think Crobat alone got like, what, 4 KOs in this match? which is insane because, I mean, I always considered Crobat to be something of a liability when it comes to taking out Pokemon. I always seen that mon as something of a support type of mon that only like plays a passive role somewhat. But for it to put in work in this game, it was insane to me, honestly. It was amazing too. But I think the matchup also just kind of favored Crobat in a way. So, yeah. But anyways, yeah, as you can see, we do win the first week of the PAC League for, you know, it's Season 1, but for the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl branch and whatnot. So, obviously do expect that to be, you know, something of a thing. But anyways, for all those who watched this match, thank you for watching. Yeah, hopefully I can catch you guys in another match, possibly. For this league, obviously. And, is that all I gotta say? Yeah, I think that's all I gotta say. I just wanted to upload this match because, I mean, I feel like I had nothing else to do, and I kind of wanted to showcase something on my birthday, honestly. I usually do, honestly. So, yeah. And I'm glad that it's one of these games. Also, or one of these matches, jeez. Well, it's the same thing, kind of, no? I don't know. But, anyways. I'll catch you guys for the next match, like I said before. Or whatever I decide to showcase, honestly, because nowadays I just kind of upload whatever the heck I want. So, yeah. Take it easy, and have yourselves a good one.